Have you ever imagined what it would feel like to wake up one morning and realize you no longer control when you eat breakfast, when you go to sleep, or even when you can step outside for fresh air? For many seniors, this isn't just imagination. It's the daily reality of nursing home life. And today, I want to share the honest truth about what happens when we trade our independence for what we believe will be safety and comfort. I'm 82 years old, and 3 years ago, I made a decision that changed everything. I moved into a nursing home. My children assured me it was the right choice. They painted pictures of professional care, safety around the clock, and constant comfort. I trusted them. I trusted my own fears about living alone. But what nobody told me was the price I would pay for that supposed security. Today, I'm sharing 6 profound regrets about my decision. Not to discourage those who genuinely need this level of care, but to help you understand what you're truly choosing. These are hard-earned insights from someone who wishes they had known then what they know now. The first regret cuts the deepest because it touches everything else. I lost my independence, and with it, a fundamental part of who I am. Before I moved here, my days belonged to me. If I wanted to sleep until 9, I could. If I felt like having dinner at 5 or 8, that was my choice. These small choices weren't just preferences, they were expressions of my personhood. Within the first week, I realized those days were gone. Breakfast is served at 7:30, not 7:15, not 8, 7:30. Lunch at noon sharp, dinner at 5. Lights out at 9, whether you're tired or not. When I wanted to go outside, I needed to tell someone. The freedom to simply open my front door and step into the sunshine whenever I pleased vanished. My familiar surroundings, my favorite armchair, the kitchen table where my children had done homework, the garden I'd cultivated, all replaced with neutral beige walls and institutional furniture. When every decision about your daily life is made by someone else, you start to forget that you ever had the right to choose. You stop asking. You stop expecting. Your sense of yourself as an autonomous human being begins to fade, like an old photograph left in the sun. The second regret hurts in a lonelier way. I thought I'd never feel alone here, but I have never felt more forgotten than I do now. In the beginning, my children visited regularly. My daughter came every Sunday. My son stopped by twice a week. My grandchildren filled my room with laughter. For the first month, maybe 2, I felt connected. But the Sunday visits became every other Sunday, then once a month. My son's visits turned weekly, then occasional. The grandchildren came less and less. Now weeks pass between visits. Sometimes just a brief phone call. Sometimes nothing at all. Holidays are the worst. Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, they happen somewhere else now. I'm no longer part of the celebration, just a stop on the way, a box to check. This loneliness isn't just about being physically alone. It's about being emotionally displaced from the center of your family's life. It's about becoming optional rather than essential. It's about wondering if you matter anymore. The third regret connects to that sense of mattering. I lost my purpose, my reason to get up beyond simply existing. At home, I had things to do. I watered my plants and watched them grow. I did my own laundry, cooked my meals, paid my bills, managed my affairs. These tasks weren't burdens. They were evidence that I was still capable, still contributing. Here, all of that disappeared. Staff waters the plants. My laundry is collected and returned. Meals appear at set times, the same rotating menu week after week. My finances are handled by my children now. I sign things occasionally, but I'm no longer in control. There was a retired carpenter here who'd built houses for 40 years. He asked to help with repairs, to build shelves, anything to use his skills. The answer was no. Liability issues. So those capable hands sit idle, and I've watched the light in his eyes dim month by month. When you have no purpose, when your days consist of being cared for rather than caring, something inside withers. You lose the sense that you have something valuable to offer. The activities here, bingo and movies, they're pleasant enough, but they're entertainment, not purpose. The fourth regret is physical. My body has declined faster here than it ever did at home. At home, I moved constantly. Getting tea meant walking to the kitchen. Doing laundry meant stairs. Maintaining my garden meant bending, stretching, lifting. These activities kept my muscles working, my joints moving, my balance sharp. Here, almost everything is done for me. Within months, I noticed the difference. Standing became harder. Walking left me winded. My balance became uncertain. I started using a walker not because I'd had a fall, but because I'd become weak from disuse. I see this pattern repeated constantly. People arrive walking independently, and within a year, they're using canes. Within 2, walkers. When someone does everything for you, you lose the ability to do it yourself. Now, rebuilding that strength feels almost impossible. The fifth regret touches on something we don't discuss openly. I lost my privacy and dignity. At home, my space was mine. I could close my door and know I wouldn't be interrupted. Here, for my first year, I shared a room with a stranger. Even now, with a private room, staff members come and go with minimal warning. The loss of dignity comes in painful forms. As I've needed more assistance, I've had to accept help with bathing, using the toilet, getting dressed. There's no way to make such intimate dependency feel dignified. I've seen grown men weep from the humiliation. Privacy and dignity are so linked to our sense of self-worth. When both erode, something essential suffers. The sixth regret is perhaps most important. I thought if I changed my mind, I could return to my previous life. I was profoundly wrong. Within 6 months, my house was sold to help cover costs. My belongings were distributed or sold. I no longer have a home to return to. But even if I did, I couldn't manage there now. 3 years here have weakened me physically and mentally. I've lost the confidence I once had. My support network has dissolved. My family has adapted to my absence. This place operates like a one-way valve. People flow in, but almost never flow back out. Everything necessary for independent life has been stripped away until you can't imagine surviving without the institution. So, what do I want you to take from my experience? Choosing a nursing home isn't just choosing safety. It's choosing to trade your independence, purpose, privacy, dignity, and ability to change your mind. Before you make this choice, exhaust every other option. Explore in-home care, family rotation schedules, community programs, meal delivery services. Consider modifying your home for safety. Join senior centers that provide connection without residential care. Fight to maintain your independence as long as possible. Because once you surrender it, getting it back is nearly impossible. Keep your daily routines, your responsibilities, your ability to make choices. Stay connected to your community actively. Keep your home as long as you can manage it. And if you're a family member making decisions for an aging parent, please listen. Safety isn't the only value that matters. Independence matters, dignity matters, purpose matters. Before you advocate for a nursing home, ask whether you've fully explored alternatives. And if they do end up in a facility, don't abandon them. Don't let your visits dwindle. Don't let them become optional in your life. For those still independent, cherish what you have. When you wake tomorrow and decide whether to have coffee or tea, recognize that choice as precious. When you walk freely out your door, feel the weight of that freedom. Don't rush to give these things up. Hold on to them for as long as you possibly can. I would give anything to have one more day in my own home, making my own choices, living on my own terms. But that choice is no longer available to me. You still have that choice. Guard it fiercely. Fight for it relentlessly. And when the day comes that you truly cannot manage alone, exhaust every alternative before choosing this path. If my story has touched you, please share it. Share it with those facing these decisions. Leave a comment about your experiences. Subscribe for more honest conversations about aging. And talk to the seniors in your life. Support their independence rather than rushing to protect them from every risk. Help them stay in their own homes and preserve their identities for as long as possible. Because once those things are lost, they're almost impossible to get back. Thank you for listening. I hope my regrets help even one person make a more informed choice or support a loved one in ways that honor their dignity. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and fight for the life you want to live until the very end.